Hey everyone, what's up? Sorry there might be a lag or an interruption here. As I've mentioned before, my thing likes to kind of do a little thing here and there. It's like when you load a page, it sometimes wants to go into no connection, identify, and back to network, just like that for some reason. I don't know. Um, but yeah, you see the title below, or the title of this live stream anyway. And yeah, I'm here to talk about, if you will, we're here to talk about um, what was showcased trailer wise and everything. Basically, news, trailers, stuff like that that were showcased at San Diego Comic Con this year. And well, let me just put it this way: to say it got a mixed reaction would be an understatement. When as far as the trailers and stuff went, because when you think about it, it did get a lot of reactions, and you know, some were good, some were not so good. Um, let's put it this way: the one that's really gotten people ticked off, if you will, is Titans. Yeah, Titans did not sit well with a lot of people, and I can definitely tell you that if you're a fan of Teen Titans and even Teen Titans Go, and overall a fan of the Titans comic, this is not going to be your cup of tea. Titans, as it's called, is one of the series that will be exclusive to the new DC streaming service called DC Universe or World of DC, depending on how they want to promote it. But yeah, basically DC um, is really again, I don't know. I don't know who out there would probably think this could be a good idea, to do Titans and all that, but apparently a lot of people are not too happy about it. Heck, I was watching Angry Joe and Other Joe were doing basically almost like a marathon. They were reviewing a lot of trailers that came out from Shazam, AquaMan, um, Godzilla to even Titans. And with Joe, usually I think he likes to end any kind of trailer marathon on a high note. But instead, he ended it on a very negative note because of the fact that what he got here was not exactly, um, what he would expect or what anybody else would expect. Because it's like, I think a lot of fans pretty much, well, let's put it this way: Titans was pretty much doomed from the get go, reaction wise, by the fans because of the fact that some of the cast choice that they made were not very good in the eyes of the fans. Some of the casting was not very good, and I don't think you can blame them for that because they got so used to what they saw with the original Teen Titans cartoon, and then even with Teen Titans Go, that again you can't really blame the fans for being a little pissed off, if you will, about what they got. Um, Part of me kind of thinks that the reason DC did it this way is not just to try something new when it comes to the Titans, but to also kind of get back at the fans' hands, if you will. It's their way of saying, you know, beep you, if you don't like Teen Titans Go, if you keep complaining, or beep you because you keep whining and crying because you want your Titans the way they were, blah blah blah. I'm just wondering if part of this, not all of it, but part of it is kind of like a troll job on their part. Like, yeah, it's going to be dark. It might lighten up as the series goes on, but for now, we're going to keep it as dark as we can, just to piss you off, or just to get back at you for hating on for basically hating on what we gave you with Teen Titans Go. So yeah, but a lot of stuff came out of Comic-Con. In fact, as I'm posting links on Facebook here, there's some coming out about Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman that I don't think had a trailer shown yet, but I got a feeling we'll get one to be shown. Possibly when it comes to Aquaman, I'll probably get a trailer there. Maybe even before then. Um, but yeah, basically, according to Gabbett and the director of the film, Wonder Woman 1984, because that's what it's called, is not a sequel. It's going to be its own standalone film. Now you might say to yourself, well, how can it not be a sequel? It's got the same actors and everything. Well, this ties into what was announced as well. The DCEU is going to be renamed World or Worlds of DC. Now, if it's called Worlds of DC, basically this means this Wonder Woman that we're getting, even though we look at it as fans as a sequel, is going to be a different world Wonder Woman. In other words, it's basically going to be the same Wonder Woman, but this Wonder Woman takes place in the 80s. That's what I'm assuming could be. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see what they say. What else? They did show some trailers that the TV Guide even showcased as well. For example, Voltron, a Legendary Defender on Netflix, they had a trailer for its new season, which starts up in August, I believe. It had a trailer. It had a trailer. Um, what was it? Oh yeah, it had a trailer for the upcoming next crossover event as far as the Arrowverse is concerned, and this is going to introduce us to Batwoman. Or it's going to introduce Batwoman, I should say, to the Arrowverse of DC. But it's not a bat. But here's the thing: it's the Batwoman that we all know now. It's not a Batwoman of the past, or anything like that. It's the Batwoman we know now, the lesbian Batwoman. How they play that into basically a TV-14 series or TVPG series, whatever it is going to be interesting. I mean, well, this is the CW, so I don't think it won't be hard for them to do that. But yeah, they showed that trailer. There's they made a few other announcements as well. So let's get into some of the things they talked about that I do have listed on a thing here. And again, I do apologize if this kind of goes in and out briefly, like if it lags or if it lags or anything like that. So I do apologize for that. If it kind of goes in and out kind of deal. Um, but yeah, let's talk about some of the things that was brought up at Comic-Con this year, and of course, I'm going to start with some MLP, if you will, and kind of get that off my chest. Um, how do I say this about MLP? what we that I didn't probably say already in my recap. Um, it looks like I will say this: what they got planned for the next Equestria Girl special, which is either going to be this year or next year. Right now, it looks like it's next year because part of the plot is the girls are going on spring break. But it looks like a lot of the animation for at least maybe the first half or the first 20 minutes is already finished, but the rest isn't, and still I guess they're still working on it a little bit going into next year. So it gives them plenty of time to clean certain parts up and everything, make it look good. Yeah, but this next one, I don't know what it's going to be called. I think it's called My Selfie and I, Me, My Selfie and I think that's what it's called, or Me, Myself and I. Me and my, I don't know what it's called. It's called something of Me and Myself because the trailer that they showed at Comic-Con, and a lot of people have posted this up already. The trailer for the Sequestria Girl special, according to Megan McCarthy, because she was there at the panel, does something that fans have been wanting to see done for a while, and that's taking the Equestria Girl versions of the main six and putting them into Equestria. In other words, you're taking the Humane Seven, as they're called, and putting them in the world of Equestria. And from what the trailer describes here, basically they access this portal or this way into Equestria by a portal that's discovered on an island, on a sandy beach, if you will, or something like that, on a sandy portion of an island. And the way they discovered this is they noticed some kind of equestrian magic coming from an island nearby. Basically, Rainbow Dash, human Rainbow Dash, points it out, and they go to investigate to see what the heck that was about. Because why is equestrian magic this far? I mean, here's the thing: they're used to the equestrian magic seeping into areas around where they live, but now they're on this spring break trip and all that across the ocean, and all of a sudden they come across an island. It looks like that has equestrian magic. Now, some have tied it in, some have speculated. I don't know if it was mentioned on the panel, but some have speculated that the way it's described as equestrian magic is it's related to the Storm King. Sunset Shimmer even tells a Rainbow Dash, Ash, and Sci-Twi, and I think the others, that she's seen this before. And that leads us, of course, into the scene where she pushes Rainbow Dash into the portal. She follows suit. And next thing you know, you see human Rainbow Dash, Sci-Twi, and Sunset as ponies. And I think there's something, one of the videos that shows the trailer has Sunset say something around, because it's kind of audible, if you would have it, a little bit. But I think the first trailer that showed, or the first video that had the trailer in it, had Sunset say something along the lines of, or tell Sci-Twi something along the lines of, this isn't supposed to happened. And Sci-Twi is like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Because what ponies kind of do. She's grabbing Sunset with her, I guess, her now hooves. And here's the thing with me. I'm waiting for the moment that after she does that Sunset has to remind Sci-Twi, Rainbow Dash, and maybe the other Humane Seven that come in and become ponies, that what they see, how they see her now, is her natural form, that this is who she truly is. That basically for them being ponies, that's not the natural form. For her, it is. So I can't wait for her to kind of remind Sci-Twi and Rainbow, and like I said, perhaps the others, that, hey, for you, this is not natural. This is not a natural form. For me, it is. This is who I really am. So, this is how I know how to use magic and everything. You forget that I'm originally a pony, not a human. So hopefully we get something like that in this special. I think Megan McCarthy knows I think Megan McCarthy and those that work on it are going to make sure we get something like that in this special. Now, the other thing that happened is they did show at the beginning a montage of the first half of the season as well as the second half of the season. And yeah, If you weren't a fan, and I will say this, Josh Scorcher, I'm probably going to send this to you, part of this to you, if haven't. Oh yeah, well, I already sent something already, but sent some stuff to Josh and all of them already. But if not, I'm sure Silver Quill is going to let him know. Um, but yeah, Josh Scorcher, when he did his review of School Days, said towards the end that you can't have someone like Naysay, Chancellor Naysay, just leave the way he did and not have something set up for him down the line. Well, let's just say this trailer set something up for Naysay. Definitely shows that they were setting something up for Naysay, and that, well, let's put it this way. The season 8 finale is the season finale for this season. It looks really good. It's really got people's attention. And all I can say is if you've not seen the MLP panel, it's on YouTube right now. Check it out. They even have it separated by trailers. You can even see second half trailer. Equestria Daily actually has it listed. So go to Equestria Daily and they will have, if you scroll down, they'll have basically headlines. Have a headline indicating second half teaser, second half season 8 second half teaser prepared. But yeah, Naysay is definitely been set up from the beginning to be the antagonist at the end, and Cozy Glow is been honest. But you can kind of tell in the trailer, maybe it's just for this one scene, but you can kind of tell that Cozy Glow looks like she's not really comfortable with this. Like, wait a minute, this is not supposed like in a way, it's like she pretty much feels like this is not what she really wanted, but it's happening. So we'll just have to wait and see what they got planned. For Cozy as far as the season finale goes. But yeah, Naysay is the main villain for the season finale. How Turek plays into this, we'll have to wait and see. The way they ended the montage is kind of on a cliffhanger because you have Twilight basically saying that they failed after Naysay basically points out that the reign of Princess Twilight is over or something like that. So what does that mean? Basically, I look at it this way. I look at that as being like the ending of part 1 going into part 2. Because I don't think they're going to end season 8 on a cliffhanger. If they ended on a cliffhanger, then what was the point of showing the animatronic or the work in progress of the upcoming Christmas special? Because that was the last thing they showed at the panel before the panel closed up, before they did some Q&A or something like that. They showed the animatronic or the work in progress of the upcoming 44-minute holiday Christmas special, Heartwarming special that they got planned for December. And the song that they chose, sort of like an opening number, apparently, sounds really good. It sounds like it's gonna basically the song they chose for the opening number of the holiday special, the Christmas special, sounds really good and sounds like it fits in. It will fit in naturally with a lot of holiday songs down the line. You know, I would not be surprised that after this special airs, that maybe some radio stations that this December maybe, or maybe even next December, pick it up and play it in rotation with other Christmas and holiday songs. It's that good. It's really that good, and you can kind of tell they put more, and you kind of tell they put a lot more effort into this special than they do regular episodes, because basically it feels like they put a similar effort into this. Basically it feels like they put what I'm trying to say here is it feels like they put a similar effort into the special as they did with the movie. In other words, it feels identical to the effort they put with the movie's musical score and songs. It feels like they did the same here with the holiday special, and it looks really good. It's got all the characters in there. It's got the main 6. Well, at least 5 of them anyway. The main 6, main 7. We didn't see Twilight yet. We didn't see Spike. We didn't see Starlight. We did see Big Mac and Sugar Belle in a scene kissing under a mistletoe. We saw, I don't know who was it, Cup of Joe have a line in the song. We saw Maud singing in there. We saw Granny Smith singing in there. I think we saw Apple Bloom singing. Pinkie Pie's, of course, got a line in there. So it looks all really good. That's also on YouTube. Someone filmed that, so check that out if it's still up. But it looks awesome. It just looks great. And again, it's just a work in progress right now. But I got a feeling the finished product is going to be worth watching when it comes out. Now, how they showcase it is going to be totally up to Discovery Family. Usually during Christmas, they focus a primetime schedule on Christmas related stuff. So I would assume this is going to debut as a primetime special as well as a 1 hour Saturday morning special. But mostly it's going to be probably a primetime special. I would assume either on a Wednesday night or a Friday night. I could be wrong. Might be even a Saturday, but I expect it to debut in primetime first before it shows up on Saturday mornings as shows up probably on a Saturday morning as a 1 hour special. That's what I expect. Hope not expect it, but I'm guessing I'm guessing will happen. But the reason I bring this up is I've heard some people when they were commenting on the second half teaser and how it ended, how some people are hoping maybe it'll end on a cliffhanger and be resolved at the beginning of season 9. If that was the case, like I said, why did they showcase this holiday special? Why would they even plan to do a holiday special if it's connected in continuity with the series? Now, some might say, well, it could be its own individual thing. It could be completely separate. And that's true. That is indeed true. It could be completely separate, but I don't think it's going to be that way. The reason they end, because of the fact that, not every season finale. Well, not every. Well, I'll just plain out say it. Not all. None of the season finales that I know of have ended on a cliffhanger. None of them. None of them have ended on a cliffhanger that I know of. None of them have ended that way. All of them have ended with a resolve, a happy ending, and that's pretty much what we're going to get here. So I will say this. So I will say this. For what we got here with the MLP San Diego Comic-Con panel and presentation, I thought it was good. As a fan, it's getting me excited. But I will say this. By showing that animatronic for the holiday special at the end, they pretty much spoiled the ending of the season 8 finale. But I'm pretty sure Megan McCarthy and Nicole Dubach will come out and say, well, what do you expect to happen? Or they might try to play a little trickery and say, oh, did we not? But come on, honestly, showing that holiday special, showing the work in progress of that holiday special pretty much gives away the fact that season 8 is going to end on a good note. It's not going to end on a cliffhanger to where it's going to have words come up at the end and say, what happens next? Tune into season 9. No, it won't. But I will say this, though, about the Equestria Girl one. If we don't see any kind of some people, like I said, are speculating that the magic that's going to be used to kind of open these portals to Equestria. Some people are already speculating that could be the Storm King, and it could be a connection. I would not be surprised if there is a connection to that. Here's the thing. I won't be surprised if it is a connection to the Storm King, and that connection takes place the moment he's obtained all the powers of the 4 princesses of Equestria. I would not be surprised that when he launches his magic, his newly found storm magic, that's when this whole situation in the next Equestria Girl special takes place. Now, Megan McCarthy and Nicole Dubach, or Megan McCarthy basically said that fans have been wanting to see this and they're giving it to them finally. And that this is also a way to expand on the Equestria Girls world, because if we remember at the end of Legend of Everfree and even Friendship Games, we started noticing these cracks taking place all over the Equestria Girls world, allowing magic from Friendship is Magic Equestria to seep in. So it's only natural that this magic would get as far as as to what it has. How it gets resolved in the end, we don't know. My speculation is hooves and fingers might be pointed towards Sunset, saying, "Hey, look, since you've been here, things have been going crazy. Perhaps the solution is for you to go back to Equestria, go back to the Friendship is Magic world, because if you go back, maybe there might be a balance. Maybe things will be back to normal." And that's a good story to tell, because then you give Sunset pretty much a choice to make. Like, does she abandon her friends or leave her humane friends to go back to the world, to go back to her real world, or what? That'd be a good story to tell. And I think this upcoming special might start leading into something like that in the future. But we don't know yet. That is one thing we don't know. But it is something that fans obviously have been wanting to see for a while. We wanted to see this for a while, and they're finally getting it. But yeah, I don't. But yeah, for anybody that's thinking that the finale, that season 8 is going to end on a cliffhanger, you better start guessing differently, because I don't think that's going to happen. And again, if that was to happen, why do a freaking holiday special or Christmas special later, that about a month or so later? About a month or so later. So I had to think for a second to kind of pause that for a moment. But why do a holiday special about a month or so later? If you were going to end season 8 on a cliffhanger, why would you do it? You wouldn't. You would wait until everything's kind of I mean, come on, honestly, like I said, let me ask you, how many season finales have ended on a cliffhanger or ended badly? None. And this is going to be one of those. And again, it'll be the same here. Yeah, it may it may feel like it will go a different direction, but I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, so enough of that. I mean, as much as I love My Little Pony, I do. Let's talk about, if I can get back up here for a second. Let's talk about AquaMan that just came out. Now, I watched Angry Joe's reaction trailer, and from what I saw, AquaMan looks really good. It really does look good. Even though I think it's the first trailer, maybe two, AquaMan looks really good. It does kind of start off a little dark. It looks like, that traditional dark, gritty kind of thing, but it feels like it picks up and really gives you what you're hoping for. Basically, what people were hoping with Aquaman being kind of that turnaround when it comes to that dark, gritty Snyderverse version of the DC universe. Everybody was hoping Aquaman would be sort of the turnaround, and it looks like, from what I've seen, looks like it's going to turn out to be that. And you can't blame them from what was shown, and everything, the way Atlantis is presented. I know Joe kind of complained about the CGI, but you got to remember, this is a trailer, so basically some of the production of the final product is not finalized yet. So it'll get better as time goes on. But it definitely looks really good, and it might just help DC turn that corner in making a decent run when it comes to superhero movies, because you got a good blending of dark and color, and we'll just have to wait and see until the movie comes out to be the judge of it. They got a good director, from what Angry Joe said, and Moira, I think that's his name, John Moira, is definitely a good Aquaman, and they do have the orange suit, the orange uniform that he has in the comics. They do have him wearing that. I don't know how long he's going to have that on in the movie, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, Aquaman looks really good, and it just might be again the turnaround or help start that turnaround that DC needs when it comes to their animated films. I mean, not animated film, but the theatrical films, I should say, not animated. My brain's not all there right now. But when it comes to the animated films, this might be the turnaround they need. Now, speaking of DC films and a possibly big turnaround for them when it comes to theatrical films, we got Shazam. And they are basically playing Shazam up from what I saw with the trailer. They are playing him up as a comedic hero right now. Because you got to remember, back back in the golden age, Shazam obviously wasn't taken very seriously. And the fact that it's a young boy that shouts the magic words of Shazam to become Shazam, if you will, Captain Marvel, um, it's huge. Not huge, but it's huge. But the thing is, it lends itself to comedy because think about this: the way it's being played out in this movie is exactly how you would play it out in real life if this was possible. Think about it: you're a teenage boy, you want to you're getting picked on and everything, and you want to find a way to get back, but you also want to impress the ladies. You want to be the cool kid. You want to go from the nerdy kid or the outsider from being that's being picked on and everything to being the cool kid, being the one that is like, yeah, I'm with it kind of deal. Well, that's how Shazam's playing it up. Now I will say this, there are some similarities to when, from what I see in the trailer, there are some similarities to when he kind of goes to his friend, explains what happens. You could put some parallel similarities to Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. Some parallels. Not saying totally. But yeah, it looks very colorful. Definitely. I mean, especially Zach Levy as Shazam. The uniform they get, the outfit they got for him definitely stands out. It feels like what DC is doing with this is they're going with the more, like I said, not just the comedic route, but the more campy route when it comes to Shazam. Because it's like because it's like this, even if they connect Shazam, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman together, along with some other world of DC movies, and try to create another like ensemble Justice League like film, you need some kind of comedic relief in there. The Flash in the Justice League film kind of provided that. Shazam here, I think, is going to really provide that comedic feel that you need more so than the Flash ever could. So definitely looking forward to this movie. It looks really good. I'm assuming that since it's got a kid in there, it might be PG, but I think it still might be PG. I mean PG-13. Excuse me. Still might be PG-13. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, if I was to grade it, I mean, right now, if I was to rate it, give it an MPAA rating, I think most likely, just the way it's being presented, it would be PG, borderline PG. But I think they're going to go PG-13 because I believe because this apparently was a teaser trailer, so I'm pretty sure that when we get the official first trailer, the first full official trailer, which I think would be with Aquaman, maybe even before that. When we get the first full official trailer, we might get more of that PG-13 like environment where we'll still get that comedic feel that we got here, but it'll also be blended in with a few dark moments as well. So have to wait and see, but Shazam looks really good, and along with Aquaman, I feel is gonna, turn the tables for DC when it comes to their animated films. As a matter of fact, let me check something. Okay, according to movieweb.com, and I do again apologize for any lag, it says DCEU officially becomes Worlds of DC. This is what MovieWeb put out, and I quote, this was reported by Ryan Scott of MovieWeb. It says, and I quote Ryan Scott of MovieWeb, what was commonly known as the DCEU officially died at San Diego Comic-Con today. This was posted when? 2 days ago. This was posted on the 21st, which was a Saturday. It said, again, getting back to this, and I quote Ryan Scott, he says, what was commonly known as the DCEU officially died at San Diego Comic-Con today. But that's not at all a bad thing. The studio didn't actually come in and kill the interconnected universe. They began with okay. Let me reread that. He says the studio didn't actually come in and kill the interconnected universe. They began with Man of Steel in 2013. However, they made it very clear that it won't be business as usual moving forward, and that started with the studio officially rebranding the on-screen DC universe as Worlds of DC. And then he puts rest in peace DCEU 2013 to 2018. But then he goes on and says, and I quote, jokes aside, the DCEU or DC Extended Universe was never technically an official name for the universe of connected movies. But with Warner Brothers stepping out and giving it an official title with Worlds of DC, they're making a statement that the future is bright, and they're going to make whatever changes are necessary to make sure these movies are much better, or at least less diversive. If you're one of those who enjoyed Zack Snyder's version moving forward, it isn't completely... Okay, they said, if you're one of those... Okay, let me reread this. Where am I? Okay, but with Warner Brothers stepping out and giving it an official title with Worlds of DC, they're making a statement that the future is bright, and they're going to make whatever changes are necessary to make sure these movies are much better, or at least less diversive. If you're one of those who enjoyed Zack Snyder's version, moving forward, it isn't completely clear at the moment if this Worlds of DC... Okay. So, let's see, new sentence because... Sorry. It says, okay, let me rephrase that. Let me reread it. I do apologize. It says, but with Warner Brothers stepping out and giving it an official title with Worlds of DC, they're making a statement that the future is bright, and they're going to make whatever changes are necessary to make sure these movies are much better, or at least less diversive. If you're one of those who enjoyed Zack Snyder's version moving forward. Basically, they're saying if you like Zack Snyder's version of DC, it won't be this new plan that they have won't be as confusing or convoluted. It won't divide basically fans. That's what they're saying. Okay, continuing on. It isn't completely clear at the moment if this World of DC banner will include movies like the Joker origin movie, which will take place outside of what was the DCEU continuity. We've been hearing that the studio will launch a separate banner to tell standalone stories for some time now. So what they're saying is that things like the Joker origin story, maybe some of the standalone films of DC that will be based on DC properties, will be under a different banner. It says Worlds of DC, without question, absolutely owned SDCC 2018. That much is certain. To go along with the rebranding, Warner Brothers brought the house down with a ton of footage from the upcoming releases. They decided not to focus on announcing a bunch of future titles. Instead, they're sticking to what they actually have in the pipeline. They started with some Wonder Woman 1984 footage, with director Penny Jenkins and star Gail Gadot and Chris Pine on hand to showcase it. This naturally went well with the crowd. The studio also released the first teaser trailer for Shazam, which is set to arrive on April 2019. Zach Levy, who plays the title character, the title hero, was at the event. This trailer, more than any of the other footage shown, makes it clear that they're going for a serious change in tone moving forward. Optimistic, light, fun, enjoyable. Again, there are a lot of defenders for movies like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice out there, but Warner Brothers can't afford to keep playing things that way. Shazam looks like a real crowd pleaser. Then they say, lastly, Jason Momoa and director James Wan came out to introduce the AquaMan trailer, which was probably the most hyped bit of footage coming our way this weekend. This too looks to be much lighter in tone and a great deal of fun. Even though the stakes are high with a war between Atlantis and the humans on the surface brewing, this is a change for DC on the big screen. Aquaman is the first of these new movies to hit theaters on December 21st, and will be the first Worlds of DC movie to hit theaters. It will come more than a year after the disappointing Justice League arrived last November. Warner Bros. Conquered DC, San Diego Comic-Con in a big way. Okay, so basically what we're getting. Okay, so basically what I'm getting here, the feeling, basically what I'm getting here is essentially, with Aquaman and Shazam showing us what they did. Now again, we didn't see no Wonder Woman 84 stuff, but what they're doing here is, like I said, they're trying to make things a little bit more fun. They're trying to make things more lighter in tone. Basically, I think what they're doing is trying to give us more of a hybrid. Like, you're going to have the serious and dark moments. The serious and dark moment that we're still going to have the serious, dark, and dramatic moments, but we're going to have it combined with light humor and comedy. Like, in other words, they're going to try to balance things out to where you're going to get those dark, serious, dramatic moments, but on the flip side, you'll still have that light-hearted comedic moments as well. So we'll see what happens. See if it works out for them. The other news that MovieWeb pointed out was, it seems that Warner Brothers is going to do another DC division, a separate DC movie division for standalone films only. So what that means is the Joker origin movie will probably be under this DC standalone banner. The Batgirl movie may be under standalone banner. We'll have to wait and see. But that's the plan, obviously, going forward. But right now, it looks really good for DC. It looks like they're turning the corner with these two movies and possibly Wonder Woman 84. So we'll have to, just cross our fingers, see what DC is going to do. But here's hoping that they get things right here. Here's hoping they get things right and they don't screw anything up. Because here's the thing: the last thing you want to do is is basically, as Ryan Scott pointed out there, the last thing you want to do is come to DC. Come to an event like San Diego Comic-Con, blow the roof off, if you will, and then basically look like hypocrites later on when what you blew the roof off with turns out to be a disappointment as a whole. So hopefully that doesn't happen for them. All right. Next up, let's talk about Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Its teaser trailer was released, and it looks really good. I can't say any more than this. I mean, for those of us that were always hoping that eventually an American studio would get this right, they did it. I mean, they got it right with the first Godzilla movie they did. That was several years ago. Some people were still kind of mixed about it, but mostly got positive reviews, feeling as though, I'll put it this way, despite the mixed reactions and all that, it still got good reviews. And yeah, it did focus more on the human characters before it really got to Godzilla and all those alien monsters or whatever that came out. But you have to establish what the human cast is going to be like. And now this one really steps it up and says, okay, we did the human cast. Now we're going to do the monsters. They were basically saying, here's your appetizer, here's the main course, and then Godzilla and Godzilla versus Kong, that's dessert. So, or something. Anyway, well, actually, it's more like the first Godzilla movie was the appetizer. There's this one, Kong Skull Island was the buffet. Was, well, I'll put it this way: Godzilla was like the bread and water you get. Was the well, not the appetizer. It's more like the what's the word? The bread, the breadsticks and nacho chips. The complimentary breadsticks and nacho chips you get at a restaurant. Kong Skull Island was the appetizer. This coming up is the buffet. Then Kong versus Godzilla will be the main course, or something like that. But damn, guys, I don't know what else to say, but they definitely got a lot of what we wanted to hear right. For a teaser, it showed what it had to. It showed us Godzilla. It showed us what the story's going to be like and who, human-wise, who the human characters that they're going to focus on are going to be a part of. Or basically, what I'm saying is they showed us Godzilla, of course, but they also showed us how the humans are going to interact with certain monsters on the film, like Godzilla, Mothra, and a few others. So, but yeah, I can't say any more than what we saw. It's really good because, like I said, like I said, for a lot of us that were hoping they'd get the Godzilla franchise right, bringing it over here to the U.S., they've done just that with this. They've done that because, like I said, the story. I mean, from what we understand, the story is it's going to have humans be part of the focus. You're going to get a connection between a young woman, teenager, whatever, being connected to Godzilla and connected to Mothra, maybe. So it looks, guys, I can't say anymore. You have to check out Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer for yourself because this is unbelievable. I mean, the way they made Mothra look with the wingspan, it's like, holy crap. You compare this Mothra with the original Mothra, and with all due respect to the original Mothra, this one puts it to shame. And that's with all due respect. The same can go for Rodan, King freaking Ghidorah, who they showed looks like, at first when you see him, I don't know if it's King Ghidorah. It looks like him because he's big enough. It could be Rodan. But we see one of them trapped in this big ice cube or big ice thing. And then we see them in the teaser, in the trailer. We see Rodan attacking some planes. He's on top of a mountain or something like that, or flying. And then the way they end it is not only with Godzilla roaring, with jets flying in the background, I guess helping him, or him helping them, or something. But before that, we see King Ghidorah. We see a silhouette of King Ghidorah, and he's freaking huge. So, yeah, it's going to look... So, yeah, this looks really good. And apparently the plot is we, as humans, are kind of causing the world to die. And by doing so, we're also causing these things that they're now calling Titans to reemerge. So, obviously, from what I understand, the plan is to try to get rid of these Titans, because if they don't, sooner or later, the world will become extinct. The world as they know it will become extinct, and then so will the humans. So, or something like that. But again, guys, check this trailer out. Looks really good. Cannot wait for it to come out. Out. I mean, I have the first Godzilla film under this new monster verse, as they call it. I've seen the 1997 film, which, on contrary to some people, I thought was okay. It wasn't good, but I thought was okay. But this one, can't say anymore, guys. You just got to see this trailer. And again, for all those that were hoping they get it right, they've done that. The question's going to be how is this going to lead into Kong versus Godzilla in 2020, 2021? How is it going to lead into that? Are we going to see a silhouette of King Kong on an island or something? Are we going to see Godzilla in a river or in the ocean, climbing up, or kind of waddling through the ocean or swimming through the ocean, coming up like for air to survey or something? Are we going to get something to where Godzilla is going to see maybe a silhouette of Kong, or Kong's going to hear Godzilla and be like, I got to fight that guy or something? I don't know. Hopefully they have something planned for the end credits that's going to really make us look forward to that one. But yeah, this one looks really good. Definitely check out the trailer. I know for a fact that I'm going to see this in theaters when it comes out. I know that. I mean, I got the movie. One of my favorite parts at the end of Skull Island is the post credits, so I can't wait for I can't wait to see that. All right, moving on. Let's talk about Riverdale season 3. Yes, season 3 was the trailer for season 3 was dropped, but it wasn't much of a trailer. It was more like what's known as a recap trailer for at least the first half of it. For the first minute, if you will, was a recap trailer, and then the last minute or so, basically it's a 2 minute 55. Basically, the trailer runs for 2 minutes 57 seconds, and during the last part, around the 2 minute mark, is when we get images, or at least a scene or so, a couple of scenes for season 3. Now, apparently, they just started filming some of the other episodes for season 3, like episode 2, 3, and 4, something like that already. So what they gave us apparently is from, I think, what they gave us apparently is from episode 1 and 2, or at least what they could show us. And what they showed us at the end was really like, whoa, like, okay, what the heck is going on here? It's like, what the heck is going on? Because what we see at that 2 minute mark is Archie and the friends, because Archie gets arrested at the end. So apparently he gets freed or something like that. He gets paroled. But Archie gets arrested at the end of season 2. Now, apparently he'll get paroled and everything, and we'll probably get an off-screen explanation of what happened. And I'm guessing Hiram is going to parole him, or at least Veronica is going to get him out of jail or something like that, because she's got the money. She'll get him out of jail, apparently. So anyway, it starts off with them going away, like going on a little bit of a vacation, trying to take a break from what's been going down. And it has Betty and Archie and Veronica in a lake swimming around, and Jughead's just sitting there, looking at Betty and everything. And then we get this scene of Betty coming out of her room, walking down the stairs, going to the outside, and seeing what looks like her mom and Jughead's mom, apparently, lifting up these 2 babies above a bonfire and chanting something. In other words, you see this group of ladies, and 2 of them look like, and 2 of them are apparently Betty's mom and Jughead's mom, and they're lifting up these 2 babies over a bonfire, chanting something. And that's how this trailer ends. This recap trailer ends. They recap season 2, and then for like the last 57 seconds, if you will, a last minute or so. Because, like I said, it's a near 3 minute trailer. It's only 2 minutes 57 seconds. But for the last, 2 minutes, if you will, for the last essential minute, they're showing that, and you think, and the way it ends, it's almost like, okay, what is going on here? What's going on here? Now, apparently, this has to be a vision that Betty is seeing, some kind of vision, a dream that she's seeing, and why she's seeing this, it could be anybody's guess. But apparently, she's seeing some kind of vision or dream. Basically, it's like it's like a dream vision, something like that, that's showing her something in the past. And again, the ladies that are holding up these two babies apparently are Jughead and Betty's mom. I mean, obviously, the blonde lady is Alice. So you can only wonder what the heck is going on here. Is this some kind of cult? What's happening? And something tells me, just by looking at that last minute or so, those last 40-30 seconds, this is going to be the season. They say third time's a charm. This is going to be the season that we get introduced to Sabrina. Because Sabrina's supposed to have an exclusive Netflix series. What better way to kind of bridge the gap between the two series and kind of be an introductory to the chilling adventures or the chilling stories of Sabrina on Netflix than to bring Sabrina into this? So, to me, I think this indicates that we're going to get Sabrina this year. But that's all I can. And I'm going off, and I'm saying this by going off what I saw. So it looks like possibly Sabrina is going to be coming into this season, because what the heck did we see at the end there? Is Betty walking in on this as it's happening, or what most likely, as everybody's been saying, is it a vision or a dream that she's seeing or she's having of something that happened in the past? Because you notice that before we get to that moment, she's looking at Jughead. She's swimming in the lake. He's looking at her. Is this indicating that Jughead and her were always meant to be? That there always was a connection between the two? Or what? We don't know. We don't know, but it looks really interesting. And again, I'm just speculating, going off by what I saw here, that this probably tells us we're going to get a more supernatural season of Riverdale, and that this might be the season that brings in Sabrina. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm just going off what I saw there. And I can only imagine Andre Meadows, what he's going to say when he looks at this, because I even tweeted it to him. And I told him in hypotheses, I said 2 minutes is when the new footage begins. So we'll just have to hold our breath, see what happens. It's going to be around, I think they said October 10th or 14th, when the new season begins. And there's my dog. She's dreaming right now. My dog's dreaming as we speak. Yeah, she's acting like she's running. So, okay, so enough on Riverdale. But yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just going off. I'm just speculating, going off by what I saw there. So again, we'll just have to wait and see what they got planned. All right. The other thing I want to talk about, Young Justice. Yes, Young Justice is finally coming back. It's called Young Justice Outsiders, and from what I saw in this first look that I saw on Facebook, damn. And I mean, damn. Apparently, we get a little bit of a recap of the last time Young Justice was around, but damn. Now, I didn't watch Young Justice as much as probably a lot of you did, but from what I've seen, it looks like Artemis, an Aqualad, faked her death. She disguised herself as Tigress because I guess she wanted to get back at Nightwing or something. But from what I can tell here, This is basically Justice League Outsiders. The third season is going to be the last one. Because apparently a lot of stuff is going to go down in this season as it did in the last season. A lot of stuff. Now, again, this is just a first look, so I don't know if they gave us recaps. They gave us a recap at first, but if they say first look, okay, now that I think about it, they're giving us a first look, so apparently they're showing us what they already have done. And if that's the case, holy crap, guys. If you thought Young Justice was good before, Young Justice Outsiders, which apparently will probably be the last season, the way it's being indicated, definitely is going to go out with a bang. It's going to begin and thrive throughout and go out with a bang. Because holy crap. Because we get this idea that Kid Flash and Artemis are an item. Like I said, we see that Artemis fakes her death. Again, we don't know if this is just a recap to what happened in season 2, and it's going to continue on here in Outsiders. We don't know. We don't know yet. But we know that Artemis fakes her death, goes and temporarily becomes Tigress. We we see that Batman's going to be in there. We see Wonder Woman, who apparently gets corrupted, is going to get in there. Is going to be in there, corrupted, brainwashed. We see that Flash is going to be in there. Black Lightning is going to be in there. Static Shock's going to be in there. You know, definitely Young Justice feels like the DC animated universe that we all knew from the 90s and the 2000s. So yeah, it definitely has that feel to it. The animation is pretty much the same. And yeah, there's a moment in there too that kind of is poetic justice, if you will, because Artemis fakes her death. The one she loves actually dies. So I'm not going to say much more than that. Then you got to check out this first look trailer of Young Justice Outsiders. It looks like Warner Brothers Animation, Bruce Timm, and all of them went all out. They heard the fans. They said, bring it back. They're bringing it back. But they're bringing it back as part of the DC Universe streaming service. Will it jump to Cartoon Network, maybe Netflix at the same time? I'm not sure yet. Right now, it's just being announced to the DC streaming service. So that's one reason to want to tune into DC, to get the DC streaming service, because of something like that. But yeah, Young Justice Outsiders, holy crap. That's all I can say, guys. Holy crap. You definitely, if you're a fan of Young Justice and you've been waiting for it to come back, and this is what you waiting for it to come back, and you want it to come back in a big way, it pretty much does that here. It's pretty much going to do that here. So definitely look out for it. So definitely go to YouTube here, check out the trailer. You will not be disappointed. That's a fact. And I know I use that a lot in this live stream, but it's the truth. See, what else did I have here? All right. Next thing, let's talk about Sonic for a second, especially IDW Sonic. Now, they had the panel over at Comic-Con. They had the panel at Comic-Con. They showed footage of the next Sonic racing game, the next Sonic racing game that they have, Team Sonic Racing, I think. And they showed footage of Big being in there, and they even hinted at another character being added later on as DLC, possibly. And they announced that they are doing, as Archie should have done, I will give IDW credit here, this is what Archie should have done during that whole, while they were doing the whole Mecha Sally, World War II, Death Egg, Mark II story arc. This is what they should have done. IDW is actually doing it the right way. They are creating a separate comic for the Team Sonic Racing game. They're going to be releasing in December, I think they said, October or December, around that time. a Team Sonic racing comic adaptation. They're basically going to be releasing a one shot, as far as I know, one shot a comic book adaptation of Team Sonic Racing. There's a new Sonic Racing game, and again, this is the one thing I will say that IDW gets right, because this is something that Archie Sonic should have done when they did the Mecha Sally World Tour 2 Death Egg Mark II story arc several years ago. This is what they should have done instead of interrupting the story arc in both the main and the universe comic. We do get introduced to a new character that's going to be exclusive to the comic called Whisper the Wolf. She's got a mask. Her weapon uses Wisp. It looks like some kind of gun weapon or something. I don't know, but uses Wisp, and we don't know if she's an anti-hero, if she's a villain, if she's a good girl, a hero like Tangle. We don't know yet. I don't think they really said. If they said, let me know, what side she's on. But all they said is she's coming in. They did say that there's a new, I think, 3-part story arc coming out called The Battle for Angel Island. And they have this, one of the variant covers that they have is with Sonic and his friends, including Tangle. I didn't see Wisp in there. I didn't see Whisper, I should say, in there. Or Wisp the Wolf, or whatever she's called. Whatever her name is, Whisper the Wolf or Whisper the Wolf. I didn't see her in there, so who knows. But this is variant cover of them on a ship. Yep, and that's one of the first covers of the Battle for Angel Island arc. And I'm looking at this, and I'm saying to myself, really, IDW? Really, Ian Flynn? You're really going to do that? You're basically going to have a variant cover for the first issue of this story arc with the characters in a ship that identically looks like the freaking ship that the Freedom Fighters had in the Archie comic book. Just saying. I'm just saying. But I also know that that's just my opinion. It feels very similar. And I know some people are going to point that out as well. I already know some people on YouTube here that are going to point that out. But then, like I said, we're getting a name as Wisp the Wolf or Whisper the Wolf. And I know a lot of people are going to say, okay, wait a minute. So we got Tangle, who's female, who's pretty much the IDW replacement for Sally for right now. And now you got Whisper the Wolf, who's female. And I can already tell you there are going to be some people pointing out that Whisper the Wolf is pretty much a stand-in for Bunny Rabbit. Just saying. That's if Whisper's a good girl. A good girl is on the side of good or something like that. Well, I mean, she's using Wisp as part of her weapon, so I don't know. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah, Whisper is, I can already hear fans talking about that, but yeah, that's pretty much what they talked about. They did show some other covers, some of the upcoming issues that are coming out this month and next month, but that's about it. They didn't mention the Freedom Fighters. I'm sure somebody may have asked them, but I didn't hear anything on that, so maybe you guys can let me know. But yeah, apparently that's basically all that we got with these IDW Sonic San Diego Comic-Con panel. That's all we got. All right. Next up here. And again, I do apologize for any lag or interruptions we may get. Next up here is Steven Universe. Now, I've not watched Steven Universe. I know a lot of people say it's good. That's one of the shows that when it started out as more like a comedic show, like a show that you didn't want to touch or even be associated with, but has gone on and grown into a show that's basically matured with age. That's gone on to be a more mature, if not more serious show when it needs to be. Well, Steven Universe is getting a movie. Yes, Steven Universe, the movie, is coming out, not in theaters as of right now, but it's coming out on Cartoon Network. And apparently there's this new gem because the way they tease the trailer on TV Guide is you have this heart gem, just turning around. You see Steven, you see the three main gem girls, and then you see this mysterious laughing gem silhouette, and then it says Steven Universe the movie. And then it has the title Steven Universe the movie. Now, like I said, as of right now, it's scheduled for a release on Cartoon Network, possibly in the fall. Maybe later, we don't know. Maybe even later than that, we don't know. But I was watching a little bit of Linkara's live stream that he did, giving him, Vega, and the friends reaction to a lot of the announcements at San Diego Comic-Con. And Vega pointed out that if Teen Titans Go to the movies turns out to be good, which right now, when they did the live stream, was at 100% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, but that was out after just a few showings, so that may go down, may go up, may go down. Basically, the favoritism may go up and may go down. We don't know. But according to Vega, she believes, in her opinion, that if Teen Titans goes to the movies, turns out to be a success for DC and Cartoon Network, from a theatrical standpoint, that Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers might decide, hey, let's put Steven Universe the movie on the big screen instead of having it premiere on Cartoon Network. And that might happen. I mean, I'll give you an example. Again, that might happen. I'll give you an example. Doug and Teacher's Pet, those movies based on those shows weren't meant to be theatrical. They were meant to be direct to video, but because both shows proved to be massively popular, they decided, you know what? Let's put them on the big screen instead, and there you go. And only one of them turned out to be good, and that was Teacher's Pet. So, yeah, it's possible. It is possible. I think even recently, a couple of years ago, not that long ago, I should say, there was another animated film that was in that same category of being direct to television, direct to video, and they said, nope, let's put it on the big screen instead. So it's possible. And it's possible that Steven Universe, the movie, could go from being a Cartoon Network premiere to being on the big screen. So that's possible if Teen Titans Go to the movies proves to be the success that everybody thinks it could be, and right now seems to be. So we'll wait and see what happens there. All right. So last but not least, let's talk about the one trailer that really has got everybody in a tussle. I talked about it earlier, I think, just briefly, but I'm going to talk about it here now. Titans. Yeah. Like I said earlier, ever since Titans was announced as a new live-action series that's going to be, as of right now, exclusive on the DC streaming service, the DC Universe streaming service, possibly even making the jump to Netflix, maybe even the CW. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we get an edited version, somewhat of a toned-down edited version on the CW, and the uncut version the uncut version you get to see on the streaming service. I won't be surprised if that happens. In other words, what I'm saying is what you saw in the trailer, if Warner Brothers decides to do it, you could end up seeing Titans on the CW as well as on the streaming service. And what you'll see on the CW will be edited, toned down a bit, like language-wise and all that. But on the streaming service, you'll get completely uncut. It'll be like an anime, in a sense. When an anime sometimes comes over to the U.S. shores, you had to U.S. studios that would license the the property to showcase it would dub over it. They would dub over certain lines. They would edit out certain scenes to make it more US family friendly or US appropriate. You could probably see the same thing here if they decided to put Titans on the CW as well as on the streaming service. You could, like I said, you could see that there. You could see Titans being kind of edited a bit, edited to fit in within the CW broadcasting standards, but you'll be able to watch the uncut, unedited version on the streaming service. And oh boy, ever since Titans was announced, the photos of who was going to be playing parts of certain characters came afloat and everything. This show has not gotten a lot of love. And Angry Joe did a reaction on it, and the last thing, and Joe's reaction at the end of the trailer was this. And I guess if you're a fan of the Titans, you can't blame him. You can't blame him for having the reaction of, you can't. Because it's like, to him, to someone like Linkara, Vega, to anybody that's a fan of the Titans, Teen Titans, whatever, this is a disgrace. This is pretty much a slap in the face. And like I said earlier, it's almost like, to me, that the people behind the series probably know that. They probably know fans were going to react the way they did. But perhaps this is their way of getting back at the fans. Because think about it. Think about it. You can't tell me that Warner Brothers didn't instruct the people behind the series to make it the way it was, to get back at the fans for hating on Teen Titans Go when it came out. It's like when Teen Titans Go came out, people were like, oh, God, what did you do? This is a joke. This is pathetic. Well, that patheticness is paid off with a movie that right now is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes as we're speaking, but will either go up or down as time goes on. But getting back on point here, Warner Brothers probably, said, hey, make the series the way it is, because they wanted to get back at the fans that didn't like Teen Titans Go, had the reaction, like I said, like, oh, this is a joke. What did you do to the Titans? Titans, why can't you bring them back to the way they were, being dark, bring them back to the way they were before, and all that. And probably the people at Warner Brothers were like, really? You want us to bring the Titans? You don't like Teen Titans Go? You don't like this direction? Look, it's doing good. People love it. Kids love it. But you want dark? Okay, we'll give you dark. We'll give you dark so much that you're going to get sick of it. And there you go. That's probably what they decided. They probably sat in the meeting going like, you know what? Let's teach these people that don't like Teen Titans Go a lesson. Let's make that Titan show they want, and let's make it dark and gritty and to the point that they will be mad, that they'll be upset. Let's do it. I think that's what they did. I think that's the reason they did it. Because as fans, we're always incomplacent. We're always complaining, saying, oh, we want this, we want that. They probably said, okay, we'll shut you. Okay, you want things a certain way? We'll give you something that will shut you up finally. There you go. And Titans is the result. It's almost like they're saying to them, well, as soon as that trailer came out, I'm pretty sure they knew they were going to get some backlash, but they're probably thinking, yep, this will teach those kids a lesson. Maybe now they'll go see Teen Titans Go to the movies and actually enjoy it. I'm just saying. That could be the reaction. And I wouldn't put it past the people at Warner Brothers in DC to have that kind of thought process. Now, here's the thing, though. I look at Titans, and I know I might get some flack for this, but I'm not going to judge it yet. The trailer may not have made it look good. The trailer may have not made it look good. But you got to remember, what we saw in the trailer is still unfinished. It's not complete yet. It's just like with the trailers with, Godzilla and even Aquaman and Shazam. Any CGI that's in there, even though it looks okay, is not a full finalized rendering you're going to see in the final product. And the same can be said here for Titans. What we're seeing here is not completely finalized. And again, I know people are crapping on some of the casting decisions. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you, but let's take a look at Starfire. You're wondering, what did they do to Starfire? Look, I know people don't agree with what happened with Starfire's casting, but what are you going to do? Take a Mexican, a Caucasian, a Filipino? It doesn't matter what racial actress you would have put in there. It still would have been the same thing. They still would have done what they did with this actress. They would have put the CGI and everything on her. And again, I understand people don't like the casting. I get that. People don't like the fact that Robin in the trailer says, and excuse my language for saying this, excuse me, and I apologize for saying this, Lord. Please, in your name I pray, amen. Please forgive me for saying this. Again, Lord, in your name I pray, amen. Please forgive me for saying this. But nobody likes the fact that Robin in the trailer says, fuck Batman. Nobody likes that. And, you can't blame them because that's not the Robin they know. It's like Robin wouldn't say that. It's like, yeah, Robin, Nightwing, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, whatever, has had problems with Tim Drake, if you will, whatever, has had problems with Batman in the past when it comes to the comics, and it's gone his separate way. But he would never say F Batman, but yet here he does. And I know some people are complaining at the fact that they ruined the Titans. Again, this is just a trailer that was showcased that, what you saw in there is not complete and finished yet, okay? And I know one thing that people complain about is, what did they do to Raven? Raven is never like this. Well, here's the thing. According to Linkara and according to Angry Joe, she was like this in the earlier days of the comics when it came to the Justice League. And Raven, was the one that created the Teen Titans, or at least was one of the founding members. So for her to be portrayed the way she is, I get it. Nobody likes the way she's portrayed. Basically, she's being portrayed as a scared individual. Like, she doesn't know how to control her powers because she's got this darkness inside of her that she cannot let out. She cannot let control her, or else those around her will be put in danger. But you know what? Again, like I said, I'm making some flack for this, but I'm not going to judge it. I'm not going to judge it, and neither should you guys. You got a right to judge. I'm not saying you shouldn't judge it, but maybe you guys should let up a little bit on the trailer. Just say, you know what? This is just a trailer. Some of what we see in it is not completely finished yet, like the effects and all that. So we'll see what happens. So let's just wait and see what happens. And that's all you can do. I mean, I get it. Nobody likes what they did here. Nobody likes what they've done. And there's no doubt that the trailer is going to get a lot of dislikes, which it already has. It's going to get a lot of backlash. But you know what? That's not going to stop them. They're not going to say, okay, for the first pilot, we're going to be all dark and gritty. And then, for the next 27 episodes, we're going to be all lighthearted and humorous. Whee! No, they're not going to do that. Because you got to remember what they're going by. Even though this is for the theatrical films, it's probably going to apply to all of their on-screen properties, and that is worlds of DC. So this is probably just an alternate world where the Titans are this way. Now, again, here's the thing. The trailer would. Here's the thing. We've seen these kind of trailers come out before. And usually it does kind of make us disappointed. Makes us like, ugh, really? Did you have to go this route? No, I don't want to see this. This is stupid. This is disgrace. This is a slap in the face. But here's the thing. A trailer doesn't always tell you the whole story. And when you finally see the final finished product, when it debuts, sometimes you're proven wrong. The trailer is only to get people talking and get your attention. Even if you don't like what you see, studios know that if they do that, you're going to still want to tune in or go to a theater and see the final product to see if the trailer proved you right or the trailer was just a decoy. In other words, a bait and switch, if you will. And yeah, you still get those dark moments, those dark and dramatic moments, but you also get light and humorous. So, look, honestly, I don't blame fans for hating on it. I don't, because this is the last thing you would think when it comes to the Titans. But let me remind you of something. What is Young Justice? Teen Titans, in a sense. Essentially, it's a Teen Titans-like show. And it's got a good blend of dark, dramatic, gritty moments blended in with light and humorous. And that's animated. So you can't pass judgment. So you can judge this and say you can't pass judgment on something just because the trailer makes it seem like it's something that you don't want it to be. But need I remind you, and I haven't read that many Titan books, but I've read enough comic books from DC, Marvel, you name it, that, well, basically, the Titans have always been at times when the story calls for it or the environment calls for it, dark and gritty. They have had stories, multiple story arcs and events that they've been part of that have been dark and gritty, if not downright violent. So you can't judge something based on what you see in a trailer. You can't judge it based off one trailer, especially if that's somewhat of a teaser trailer. I say this. I say wait till we get another trailer, probably a more full and finalized trailer for what it will be the final product that will be shown on the streaming service and possibly even the CW. And then give judgment. Because of the next trailer they show is similar to this one, but also has different scenes in it that kind of blend in a little bit of lightness, like light and dark hybrid deal. Maybe some of us will reserve our judgment until the very first episode, or at least the first couple of episodes. So again, I understand people don't like Titans. I get it. I don't like what Titans has become. I get it. There's no doubt that I get it. But we'll have to but I look at it this way. The trailer doesn't help it right now. The first trailer for it doesn't help it. But I say let's reserve judgment until either the next trailer comes out and we either have a trailer that's similar, if not the same as this, if not maybe darker, or a trailer that could be a little bit more lighthearted, blended in with a few dark moments. And if so, then let's save our judgment for at least the series debut. And if we binge watch all the episodes, then you can apply judgment as you see fit. So that's really about it, guys, on Titans. I'd say the trailer didn't help it. I will agree with that. But I say let's reserve judgment until either the next trailer comes out or most likely until the series debuts and we binge watch a few episodes to kind of get a feel of where they're going with it. So, but really, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh yeah, they did. If you're a fan of the new DuckTales show, they did do a trailer for the rest of the season, and we do get the reveal of Magica Dispel in this before the season's out. So that's something I thought I'd pass along. And really, and apparently Magica's got some kind of history with Scrooge, and we're finally going to get, I guess, some kind of answers from Scrooge about Huey, Dewey, and Louie's mom. So that's about it on that. But anyway, just thought I'd come out here live, guys, and let you know what my thoughts are on the trailers and other things that were shown and talked about over at San Diego Comic Con this year. Let me know what you guys think down below. In fact, let me check something real quickly. And again, I do apologize for any interruptions or lags. I do apologize for that. Okay, no comments. Probably get some comments later. But again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this live stream this morning. Let me know what you all think about what I had to say on this. Hopefully you hopefully for those that will watch this later after it's been uploaded, hopefully you will take your time in watching this. But let me know what you all think down below. Comment if you like. And again, those are just my thoughts on the trailers and stuff that was shown and talked about at Comic-Con this year. But again, let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like. I'd like to hear from each and every one of you. Again, give me your thoughts on how you feel about the presentation on what was revealed at Comic-Con this year, when it comes to some of the things I talked about, from Titans to Sonic to My Little Pony to Young Justice, Riverdale. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to check the comments one more time, the live stream comments right now. Sorry about that. And again, I do apologize for any stream interruptions. Okay, there's nothing there right now. So again, though, guys, thank you all for tuning in live if you can, or if you did. Thank you all for tuning in and watching. Let me know what you all think down below. Let me know what you guys all think down below about what I had to say here. Again, hopefully you take your time on this. It's a long one. Well, not too long, but just long enough. And for those of you watching post live, let me know what you guys think as well. And I will talk to you all later. I got to get me some rest now before I go into work today, which will be my only day at work because I have the rest of the week off because I requested it for my birthday, which will be on Wednesday, July 25th. So let me know what you guys all think, what I had to say here, and I'll talk to you all later.